And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I always do every day. And I am just getting in from my workout. So I said, I'm not even going to try to change. I just want to make sure I start it on time. And I want to make sure I respect your time. And how are you all doing today? It is Friday. We like to say Friday again. It's Friday again. And that means we are doing our wonderful Focus Friday, where we focus on accounts that inspire, encourage, and inform. So if you have any ideas, if you have any suggestions, make sure you put them inside the comment box, and that way we can share those with the community. And already out the gate, I see the gold is going to the wonderful Hannah. Good morning, Ron and Chris and Touch Base Daily family. She is in the building. Chris is Chris may not be here today. Chris has a guest and he's been hanging out, so he may not be here. But I got up this morning. One of my dear friends woke me up, and I was very happy to see his awakening call. And that was great. And then after, got myself together and said, well, I'm up. Let's get together. Let's get it together. So I went out and did my walk, did my steps, and then I ran into the people from Fort Greene Park. This evening, I'll be photographing their event and called The Fling. If you are in Brooklyn and you want to support a great benefit, The Fling helps support Fort Greene Park. And that is one of the big fundraisers of the year. And I am so honored that I am able to photograph for a third year. This is my third year. This could be the fourth year. I don't know. I think it's the third year that I will be photographing this amazing event. And so I'm excited that I will be with them this evening. And but I go across Fort Greene Park and I do the steps, and then I cross over, and then they were all getting stuff set up for today, and they were hanging out on the top of what we call the Monument Hill. And so that was beautiful. Also, what is else happening in the news? Well, we're going to go through some news stuff also, because we're celebrating accounts that inform us. So we'll be doing that. We got some rain last night, so now the air is nice and clean today. Everything is fresh. The grass is nice and green and watered and plush. It's going to be a great weekend, y'all. It's going to be a great weekend. At least here in New York, the weather is going to be great. And so just hanging out with you all. And I'm so excited to be here with you all. And so what are you up to? Well, oh, wait, there's someone else in the building. Oh, there is Mr. Bryson, our correspondent, our pop correspondent. Pop news. He says, what's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, everybody? Happy Doja Cat and Mariah Carey Friday. Happy one battle after another. Happy new music Fridays. Welcome to the weekend. Bryson, that was a mouthful. Thank you for sharing the pop culture all in one statement. And he said, we got to go the sun out there. We got to get out in the sun. And so it is, like I said, it's a beautiful day here in New York. And I am excited about the last day. This weekend, I'll continue to pack up the house. I talked to my lawyer yesterday. He said, it's smooth sailing from here. He says, just wait for the co-op board to give us a date when they want to get, because they have to do all the tax stuff. Yes, Uncle Sam will get their percentage. The co-op will get their percentage. And then everybody else gets money. So the thing is, when you people think, oh, wow, you sold your apartment for such and such amount, you're going to get lots of money. No, it don't work that way. A lot of money goes to the lawyer, the broker, the contractors to fix up the house, painters, all that stuff has to be paid for. And luckily, I get to pay for it. I didn't have to pay for it in the beginning, but I could pay for it at the end. So yes, selling a home is not as grand as people think it is. And if you decide to do it, though, it is worth. If you can, if you especially, I bought my apartment for cheap. So anything above what I bought it for is good. And I've been here 30 years, almost 30 years. So that is a good thing. So the good thing is make sure you calculate your dollars before you make a decision to sell your apartment or sell your home. Will you be able to live comfortably after the sale? Also, make sure look at do your homework. As they say, as we were taught in school, as we were taught in college, as I was taught in my business law classes, do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. Do your research. Do your research. I always say do research on everything. Like if you hear me say something, make sure you do your due diligence. If you see someone online speaking about whatever topic it is, don't just run to the bank with it. Do your due diligence. That's the beauty of college. That's the beauty of, people say, why should I don't have to go to college to survive in life. This is true. And college doesn't make you better than anyone else. But what college does do is it gives you information that you may not ever come across in your everyday life. For instance, all of the subjects like marketing, advertising, for me, business law, physics, electrical engineering, aerospace engineering. These are all my topics I had to study. Building aircraft, building little parts and pieces for aircraft. I would have never gotten that knowledge outside of college. But definitely I am applying a lot of what I learned in college to my everyday life. And that's because I try to live every day fully. So like I said, do your due diligence when you are selling your apartment, buying a house, selling a house. A lot goes into doing it. And if you are lucky to get a house and buy a house or sell the house or create wealth for you and your family and for your descendants and leave some, have what I call legacy, know the laws. One of the reasons why I joined the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce is because education. When I first became a business owner, I knew nothing about business. I knew college stuff about business. I didn't know what, and college stuff in business is totally different from real life. Just saying. I just want to make sure you are clear on that what you learn in school is very basic to what you're going to learn in life. Life is the biggest teacher, and you will learn along the way. So again, today's theme for me is do your due diligence. It's a law term, and it's a good law term because you should use it every day of your life and whenever people are giving you information. Get 3 resources. So that way you got the right stuff from different get 3 resources from 3 different sources. Okay. Anyway, more people are in the building. Let's send some greetings out. Janet is in third this morning. She says, greetings, Touch Base Daily World. There you go. Elise is in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And then you have the wonderful Kimmy. Kim is in the building. She says, happy Friday. And let's see here. I see classics. And then Kim says, some basic jobs require college degrees, I had a customer service job and needed some college to apply for. Yes, college is important. Don't let people tell you it isn't, but it's not the end of the world if you don't go. However, you're going to have to really have a good hustle to survive in the world without your college, I want to say degree, but the college degree does open doors. It does open doors that you would not normally get into. Your income is to be 20,000, 30,000. Well, I don't even know the numbers anymore. Having a college degree does increase your salary by significantly, and it opens doors. But again, those that have college are no better than those that have no college. Let's see here. I see all the love. I see all the love between you, two of you, all of you guys. Hey, Chris R is in the building. She says, good morning. Let me open up. Let me invite the Instagrammer folks in. Let me do that real quick. And so what are you drinking this morning? Well, I'm doing this. What are you drinking? I left my drink in the kitchen. What are you drinking this morning? What are you drinking this morning? I should have known when Bryson gave me that long hello that I was missing my drinks that usually hang out right over here. So, anyways, I am missing my drink. I'm going to get that in a little bit. Okay, let's get lit. While you guys are putting in what you're drinking this morning, I am going to bring in our Instagrammers. Okay, here we go. Okay, get that little copy going. And yeah, so takes a little work over here. It takes a little work to go through all this. But one day, some of you will be doing this on your own channels. I hope that you will get the guts up to step out and do something like this. It's slow growth, but it pays off. I'm meeting so many people doing this stuff. And okay, there we go. Instagrammers are locked in. Here we go, Instagrammers. Here we go. The Instagrammers are here. Good morning, Instagrammers. Welcome to Touch Base Daily. And today's our Focus Friday. Let me also get this for you guys over at Instagram. I always like to make sure this is in your page so that way you can have it. And that is join us on YouTube at RL at Ron Lewis Photos. Okay, so got that all set up. So I had a good workout this morning. And so it's the truth. I don't know why we don't work out like we're supposed to. I know I don't. Some folks do. Lee's husband inspires me. He doesn't even know he's inspiring me, and that he's out there doing his walks. At least says he does his walks every morning. And I say, if he can do it, then what's my excuse? Get your butt out there and go for a walk. And so this morning I did, but today I added my stairs for the monument. I climbed the stairs, climbed 3 flights of steps, then went and did the hills. Yes. And you do feel better. You do feel better after you work out. Your mind is clear. Your brain feels better. You feel better. I'm just saying, I feel so much better that I did the workout this morning. And I've neglected it a lot. I've neglected my consistency. And I'm all about consistency. Consistency is how you gain ground. Okay, I see here. Aya is in the building. She says, thank TGIF, Ron, Chris, and everyone. See, Chris is not here. Chris is not here. Chris, if you're listening, you probably should come on board. I know Chris is probably sleeping. He was hanging out with his friends. Elise says technical schools are also great. Exactly, technical schools. That's where I went. That is where I got my I went to school to study aerospace engineering at a technical school. Then I went to St. Francis College here in Brooklyn. Um, do you know I always wanted to go to Morehouse. That was one of my colleges that I had on my list, but because my mother was by herself, I chose to stay here in New York to go to school. But I really wanted to go to Morehouse. I wonder what my life would look like if I would have gone to Morehouse. Just saying. I love I have several friends from Morehouse, and they're interesting folks. They're very interesting. They have interesting careers. Kimmy Kim says, I just had some lemonade. Ooh, lemonade is what I do in the morning. I do that too, Kimmy. I make lemonade in the morning. I make lemonade. Chris says she's drinking water. Water is the best drink, right? Lemonade and lemon and water are the best morning drinks for your system. Hey, Lisa's in the building. Hey, what's going on? She says, morning, everyone. Okay, I see the love. So, out the box, let's go straight to the videotape. Let's go to the videotape. I have all kinds of stuff that I've saved up for you guys this week. So, let's go. Let's go to the show. Let's go to my saves. And can I tell you, we're going to start. Let's see. Okay, yes, let's do this one. Let's do this. Okay. I want you to listen to this. And I know that I'm going to start heavy and then we're going to go to fun. How about that? We'll start heavy and go to fun. Okay? As a community. Hey, and Janice says she's drinking coffee. What else are you guys? What are you guys drinking this morning? Okay, there we go. Coffee. Lisa says, I love the opening ceremony at Morehouse for the incoming freshmen. Morehouse is an interesting, I don't have any friends who have gone to Spelman, but I do have friends that two of my friends, three of my friends have gone to Morehouse. 3 friends, Morehouse. And one of my buddies gave me his Morehouse burgundy hat when I was in college. And I used to wear my Morehouse hat everywhere. I was like, oh, I wish I could have gone to Morehouse. Anyways. Oh, Elise, your daughter went to Spelman? I did not know. Maybe I think you mentioned this to me. I got to hang out with your daughter so I can say I know someone from Spelman. I don't have any that I know of. I don't have any friends that I know of from Spelman. Those are the 2 most prestigious, but well, not most, but I guess you could say the most. I mean, Howard University is also a great college. My buddy went to Morehouse and he did his undergrad in Morehouse and he did his graduate studies in Howard. I do believe that's how he did it. Yeah. Lisa says, my nephew is there now. It's a great school. And there's a part of me that, because I didn't really study Black history until I got out of college. And even though I had people that talked about Black history around me, my father, my aunt, my cousin Donna, they were very acute when it came to Black history. But I did not really get to, and I think going to Morehouse and Spelman and Howard, those colleges, they give you so much more of an enrichment of Black culture in your academia. So I look at, because some of my friends that I said are from Morehouse, like my buddy from Morehouse, he's a strong historic, kind of like knows Black history, He's very strong in his belief system of Black culture, and yet is an amazing businessman. So just saying. Elise says, some of my students got to meet her when she came to my class, and they were so impressed by her that they also went to Spelman. Wow. Nice. Look, what do they say? What do they say? Representation matters on all levels. That's why when Adrian was younger, my job was to expose him to as much as I could. And even as a youth director and youth pastor, my goal was to expose the kids of the church to as much life as I could, like hiking, beach parties, rock climbing, going out, going to different events, going to art galleries, going to the museums. The parents' job is to give the kids as much global exposure as possible. I would go and visit my sister and say, Adrian, you want to get in the car and let's go? And here we go. And then one day he got the great opportunity to drive back. And he was like, I can't believe you're giving me the keys of the car. I said, yep, you got it, son. You drive us back home. Even though I had one eye open. Janice says, my maternal grandmother went to Spelman. Wow. Okay. Spelman is represented in this community. Nice. Lisa, unfortunately, I didn't know about these Black schools. They were not given as choices, but I went to an all-white school. Lisa, you say something that is very key. I did not really know about Morehouse and Spelman. I saw them on the Bill Cosby show. That was my exposure to them. But meeting people was after I had gone through 2 or 3 years of college myself here in New York. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Kimmy says Black student unions. Ooh, okay. Black student unions. Elise says, I was on the parent council at Spelman. You know, Elise, you don't surprise me. I'm always in awe of you. I'm always in awe of Elise. She brings so much to this community. Her knowledge, and if you are not tapping into Elise, if you're not adopting some friendship with Elise and you're in this community, you are missing out. That's why when Elise comes to Brooklyn, she'll tell you, I stop the presses. Stop the presses. Stop the presses, because Elise, every time we're together, I think one time we got donuts together. We went for walks together. We sit down at the Brooklyn Bridge Park together. We've gone to Juniors and sat for hours. Every time I walk away, I gain perspective and knowledge on something that I did not know, or I knew in passing and then got a more in-depth knowledge of it. If you are not talking to Elise, you are missing out. Lisa said, I visited Howard my sophomore year for a possible transfer from St. John's. That's right, you went to St. John's, but I didn't like it. Everybody was all made up. I would not have for it. I would not have for it. You know what? I love my St. Francis College because I was in a Catholic school. I was always in tune with what's going on at St. John's, and because we used to have our basketball team, and St. John's had a basketball team, and once in a while, St. Francis would rise up and play against St. John's, but we had a horrible basketball team, and it was really bad. So, anyways, Felicia is in the building. She says, hello, family. Hello, family. Hello, family. At all, the Elise is an experience. Yes, right? And Fifi says, at all, Elise is an experience. Yes, right. Let me tell you, you will walk away full of knowledge. I have several people that have made a difference in my life in so many ways, being in the online community. BJ, who's no longer with us, who helped me start this Touch Base Daily, and Elise, who came in after. And I have to tell you, Elise, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Elise. Elise has been incredible person to be addition to my life. And I am very thankful for people that I can be inspired by and I can look up to. What's up, Fifi? And I see also Janet says nobody had a worse basketball team than Fordham. St. Francis was near the bottom. I'm telling you, Janet, St. Francis was near the bottom. They used to say, "Do you have a basketball team?" I would say, I would not acknowledge that we had a basketball team. Oh my gosh, our team was never. And then I say, well, it's just because we're so smart. That's what it is. We were so academically smart. Lee says, you are a great addition to my Ron. I'm sure she says my life, Ron. And anyway, let me go. Okay, so I say we're going to start. We're going to start with something to think about. I want you to think about this video. And yeah, let's just go to it. Let's just go to it. Hold on a second. I wanted to go. Here we go. Let's get to it. Focus Friday. Okay. Here we go. This is going to be something. Here we go. And if you have a video that you want to share, Instagram account, YouTube channel you want to share, make sure you put it in the comment box with FF and then put it in the comment box. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's, oops, gave you the wrong screen, y'all. That's what Instagrammers look like on my screen, so you can see. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. And screen and YouTube. There. Here we go. Now we're cooking. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this?
It's already gone. Not falling, not declining, gone. You just haven't heard the crash yet. America built its empire on two things, the dollar and the promise of power. But now the world is waking up and moving on. In 2025, China now commands the largest commercial fleet on the planet, 5,500 vessels to our mere 80. Cargo ships cut through oceans like arteries, pumping lifeblood. Only now that blood no longer flows through American ports. The South China Sea isn't contested, it's conquered. The maps still lie, but reality doesn't. Europe struck a deal with Beijing, shipping routes through the Arctic, bypassing the US entirely. While Washington spins its wheels on political theater, nations are laying railways, building ports, connecting without us. The Belt and Road Initiative isn't just infrastructure, it's a stranglehold, a new Silk Road paved in iron and debt, and America is locked outside. The dollar is fading. 74 countries have signed bilateral agreements to trade in yuan, rubles, and euros. The petrodollar whispers like a ghost, an echo of power that's already gone. When Saudi Arabia finalizes its agreements with China, the dollar collapses from a global standard to a local liability. Our military, once unmatched, now sits paralyzed. In the Pacific, China's navy doesn't just rival ours, it dwarfs it. 5,500 ships move across those waters like shadows stretching at dawn. Our carriers remain anchored, aging, gutted for parts. The chip war is over. 90% of the world's advanced semiconductors are made in Taiwan, and China's hand is already on the lever. When Beijing pulls it, the lights go out, the screens go dark, the machines freeze in place. Once, America stood as the world's largest creditor. Now, it's the world's largest debtor, owing trillions to the very nations that are surpassing it. The global stage is resetting. The world no longer waits for Washington's permission or fears its retaliation. This isn't just a transition. This is abandonment. The facade of American greatness is over. America is being replaced.
So that is a video. It was posted by someone else. This is not the original, but it is out there, and it's one of the most clearest summaries of where we are in American history, and I call it global history, because American history is global history, just like Black history is global history, and you cannot separate these histories. History is history, and we, I do believe in the hope of the people that will take a stand and do what they need to do and create whatever they need to create to get through this chapter of American history. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that video out there. I'll get to the original of this video, but it was out there. I posted it on my Instagram weeks ago, maybe a couple of months, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, and it really lays it out. This link to this person, she says someday too, is her account. I will put the link there, but I wanted you to see that and hear it, because people think America is going to decline. America is already in declinement. And but it's going to take the people to rise up and to stand strong to counteract this. But a lot of it, the groundwork is already set. And and people like to blame the orange man for this. I would say he's the tipping scale. America has always been on this route to its own demise. And I've had this conversation with other folks that do talk about history. I have a couple of friends, we nerds, we get together. No great power has ever been destroyed by an outside force. Most great powers are destroyed from within. And while we are bickering and fighting, and while this country is unstabilized and looking to and being racist and bigotry and going inward and wants to go to a form of apartheid, go back to this Christian nationalism and all this other stuff that they want to go back to, and they're not the majority of the country. They are the minority of the country. But where we are has set the stage, and this orange man has really created what's called the tipping point when it comes to our economy. Now folks will realize, the dollar is down. I'll have another page to share with you. The dollar is down 11% since January, and it will continue to decline. And this is a thought. So I was talking to my neighbor today. I said, we as Americans have to, I'm not giving you any financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So the disclosure, yes, I did study for my Series 763, but I am not giving you financial advice. We Americans have to rethink where our money is. One of my friends who's got some good money, he was like, Ron, I only put $12,000 in America. All my dollars are offshore because of the American dollar is losing ground. And I want my money to still stay valuable. And so Americans have to, I know it sounds so foreign to us. We're used to being the number one or number two currency in the world. But thanks to the orange man, no one needs the dollar, and they are working their way faster. What should I say? His being the president of this country has sped up what was eventually going to happen. This was predicted 15 years ago. People in finance have been talking about this, the economy. So, but it is something we need to think about. As in this community, I like to just, this is my family. You guys are my family. You may want to start reading up on how you can, if you have it. A lot of people don't, some people don't have it, that have accumulated wealth. But if you have some form of accumulated wealth, you might want to do some studies on how to invest in other currencies and other banking that is global, and some of those global banks. So that was just one of those things that, there's a military design. And speaking of the military, yes, you guys, this is why I love you guys, because you guys gear the conversation. So Janice says, Ron, you're an enrichment in innumerable ways. Metal, yellow, first red, metal, yellow, first red, metal, yellow, first red. Okay, and Elise says, this chapter of the U.S. requires the people to raise up and shut the country down. And Elise has been saying this. Elise, can I again, I'm on the bandwagon of Elise today. Remember when Elise came to us in 2000, when I first started this community here, and Elise used to talk about Project 2025. And we were like, what the heck is that? What is Project 2025? Elise has a nice pulse on things are about to happen or trending. And she says, oh, you got to read up on Project 2025. You got to read Project 2025. You got to read Project 2025. Y'all remember those days, right? Way before people start talking about it mainstream. Elise was already telling us in this community, you need to read Project 2025. Then it started to get more traction around, and then it became mainstream, and then it became, now it's 50% or 60% done. We are now in Project 2025. We are living Project 2025, right? So Elise has been really sharing this for the last several months. The power is with the people, and the people are required to stand up in this moment. The only way America can get through this is if the people stand up and fight. Americans have to stand up and fight and vote with their dollars, at the ballot box, but mainly we vote every day with our dollars. And this whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel has really kindled some mindsets to say, wait a minute, we have the power. But we've heard it here all the time. Elise has been saying this for the longest, right? So I'm just saying, I just wanted to just shout out that, her, what she's been sharing. Janet says, front PG article on New York Times today. Students are ill prepared for college and beyond. Yes, the American students are they're failing. They are losing ground in education. So this week, when I was at the Unstoppable Africa event at the Marriott in Times Square, China has just passed a law. I do believe it's a law. It is a law that I think it starts at kindergarten, all kindergarten and up, beginning at kindergarten, all students are required to learn AI. Now, do you think America is going to survive against the Chinese population, all of them being experts in AI, when America is dismantling their education system? Think about it. America is dismantling education. You cannot be a superpower if your people are not educated. We are where we are today because the dummying down of education in America. Our boys they drop out of school. They have no interest. The schools are not providing interesting subjects for our boys. Our girls are excelling, which is great. Black girls are really excelling over the last decade, 2 decades. But do you think America can compete? First of all, we're almost out of the league right now. So the richest man of Africa was telling us about this stuff. I forgot his name. I think it's Sheaves or Sieves. I think this is his name. And he was sharing with us in this big event on Monday. Africa must follow the same steps as China in making sure in all public schools, in all schooling, that kids at kindergarten begin working and learning AI. Because AI is here and here to stay and is only going to become more advanced. And if you don't know AI or you don't use AI or you are terrified of AI, I mean, I'm on this broadcast because of AI on some levels. AI is now. AI is the future. And America, wow, you got this orange man and all his minions want to get rid of education. We are in for we're in for a very bad future. The moment you don't invest in your young people, the moment you stop investing in people, your country's dead. Your country dies. And history has shown it and proven it. And again, most great powers are not destroyed from outside. Great powers are destroyed from within. And once they're gone, do they come back? No. Have you ever seen Rome come back? No. When the Roman Empire was big and huge, have you seen the Roman Empire reclaim its position? Nope. When you saw the UK was the sun never sets on the British Empire. Have you ever seen the British Empire come back? Nope. The Venetians, have you seen them come back? Nope. Have you seen the Portuguese? They rule the seas. They were the ones that created the slavery. They're the ones that built the slave castles in Ghana. Slave castles in Ghana and in Nigeria, all the different places, and shipped out a massive population of Africans to South America. Brazil has the largest African population outside of Africa, thanks to the Portuguese. But when the Portuguese Empire fell, have they ever come back? Nope. Nope. The Ottomans, the Polynesians, right? All these empires, when they're gone, they never come back. And so will be America. I know that sounds harsh. I know people don't want to believe it. If we let America go, it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back. I mean, think of all the great empires. All of the great empires. I know that's what we talk about for the accounts. We're gonna get another account one. Hold on, I'm going to do that. I know. I just feel like I just had to share that, guys. You got to be involved. If you are in the sound of my voice in this on this platform, and also if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes, and make sure you hit the likes. And if you want, you can share. But make sure you are staying on top of what's going on globally. And I saw Elise put in here, BRIC is still out there working on weakening the dollar. It is weakening the dollar. And BRIC, for those that don't know what BRIC is a new currency, a new form of currency created to do away with the dollar. What is BRIC? B stands for Brazil. R stands for Russia. I stands for India. C stands for China. S is called BRICS, stands for South Africa. The world is moving on. While America, and this is the ugliness of racism. Racism is such a deadly poison when drank, because it doesn't allow you to see the whole picture. Racism will kill this country. Sorry for using it, unalive it. Racism will destroy this country. And there's all these people that believe in this racist apartheid government that they want to create. It will not stand. It can't stand. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Cannot. It's impossible. It's biblical. It's universal. It's universal law. A house divided cannot stand. So guys, be attentive to, I share that video so that you could also be more informed and have a hunger to not just focus on what's going on in America. Go and get other resources outside of America so you can see what is happening globally. Become a global citizen. Become a global citizen. You will win. You will be ahead of the game if you will become a global citizen. Fifi says, my daughter said we are not going to talk our way into a revolution. That's right. Yes, Ron. Ali says, all of the Asian countries are ahead of us in technology. Absolutely. Have you ever looked at Korea? Korea never, ever dealt with wires. They started out the gate with fiber optics and never looked back. And a lot of African countries, no wires. They're dealing with fiber optics and more Wi-Fi and everything else. Hannah says, I remember when Elise first told us about it. I told my family immediately. That's the beauty of community. Lisa says, Haiti never came back. That's right. No power has ever come back. You tell me which one. If you can tell me what great power lost their greatness, as in their global domination, and come back. Egypt once ruled, never came back. Right? It's a long line. Oh, send you the link? Oh, let me send you a link, Fifi. Let me send you a link. See if Fifi wants to come on board. Hold on, Fifi. Let me send this to you because I have your email. Let me send it to your email, Fifi. There we go, Fifi. I'm sending that to you. So you can chime in if you want to chime in. There you go. Fifi can chime in. Okay, there you have it. Lisa says, walking into a store here in North Carolina, have to run. The volume Okay, gotcha, Lisa. Girl, you're there. And then I see Bryson said, Ron, Felice, want to come on. Thank you, Bryson. Okay, here's another one. I want you to really take note of what's happening next week. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Here we go. Okay, are y'all ready? Here we go. Listen to this. Now, I heard it first from this gentleman. Don Lemon mentioned it last night. And this is something you need to be thinking about, because next week, something is happening in America, and it's looking like 1939. And I'll let you listen.
Okay, folks, next week our country changes forever, and I need you to be prepared for it. No violence, no violence. That would be the worst possible thing you could do. It would play right into their hands. And don't panic. Don't panic. I'll tell you why. So, Texas Paul, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. Yeah, this is the end of September, and next week they're about to decapitate the military. Pete Hegseth has called a meeting of well over 100 of our top generals. That give you an idea. I think there's only like 475 top generals and admirals, not top, but total generals and admirals. I think there's like 475. He's called a meeting of over 100 of them. They're going to decapitate the military next week. That's what's going on. They've been moving towards that. The plans that they've been putting together, they've been calling a consolidation of leadership. And this is the Nazi playbook. They already did it with ICE. They did it with ICE. The $100 million they put into ICE was exactly the Nazi playbook. They went out and recruited out of the militias, and that's why they wear the mask, so you can't identify where they got these people from. Now the next step is decapitate the military and create super generals. These are generals that they're going to have basically ad campaigns for. They're going to get the nationalists behind them, the rah nationalists behind these generals to make superstars out of them, because they're sycophants that they can control, that will do anything that they're told. This will be the end of your country as you know it, but I need you to not panic, and this is why. You can stop this. You may not be able to stop these generals from being fired and removed, but you can stop this entire thing. A country of 330 million people that will not be governed cannot be governed. It's that simple. It's that simple. Protest, fight, boycott, fight economically. Close your wallet and sit your ass down. Folks, a bunch of unarmed Indians ran the most powerful empire at the time, the British, out of India by simply sitting their asses down. You can do that too. You can do that too. Most of these major corporations run on loans. If you just stop spending, they fold. You understand where the power is? You have the power. Use it, and use it wisely. Any violence plays into their hands. Okay, folks.
Now, who's been saying that in our community? Who's been saying that in our community? Elisa's been saying that in our community. We have the power. We have the money. We have the dollars. Don't give them any control. Next week, it's already been announced. It was announced yesterday or 2 days ago. All of the generals, all of them from around the world have been called back to the United States for a meeting next week. This is happening. It's happening. And no one knows exactly what is going to happen next week. Now, this is a presumption. It is rumored. But this, let me just give you his
Okay,
page.
fine.
Let me just give you his page because he's really good. I follow some of his stuff here. Texas Paul Schroder, and you can see his page here is very good. So you can, die or die Democrat, ride or die Democrat. Rod, I didn't vote for the rapist. He says, we're not supposed to use that word. I'm sorry. Sorry, Instagram. Okay, but at least you know his page. 496,000 followers, and he has a great following, and he has a lot of connections and some really cool with some real insiders. And I do believe this is something we should be paying attention to. But like he says, don't panic and don't go into the fighting mode, because the whole thing is, from another person I mentioned this yesterday, they are going to they want us to rise up. They want us to fight so they can institute martial law. But we must resist. The best way to fight is with your wallets. If you don't spend money on these companies, on their merchandise, you can change this around. We can change this around. The power is with the people. And like Elise is always saying to us, and hopefully it will spread around the country. All we have to do is tell Americans, don't buy anything for one day. Buy nothing. Literally nothing. And then the money will change the people that are influencing or have the power to influence. This was, again, this is a real good account. I think you should follow him. He's very informative. And but when I heard it here first, he mentioned this. What day was that? Let me just see what day was this? It was, I think this was like on maybe Wednesday. People didn't start talking about it mainstream, or I should say partially not mainstream, in the online news, like Don Lemon, Maddie, I think it is, and a couple other people just start talking about this yesterday. He was talking about this on Wednesday. So yeah, I see here, Kimmy says they have a whole timeline. So that speaker is right. Don't panic. Elise says, we have the power to shut this country down. People have to stay at home and not go to work or to any business. We all need to stock up now on what we need for at least a week and shut it down. They only understand money. They only understand money. And we got the proof. We got the proof. Disney was like, what? We lost several $1 billion in a weekend? Think about that. They didn't bring Kimmel back because they loved him. They brought Kimmel back because the people said so. With their dollars. We have the power, y'all. We have the power. The power is with the people. The power is with the people. Okay, I think we have time for one more, and then I'm gonna let you guys go because it is Friday. It is Friday. Let me see here. Let me go. Let's see. We got one more for you guys, and let me see. Let me see. Okay, here it is. This one is for the 60-year-olds. It's not just for 60-year-olds. Any of you can learn from this, but I thought this was really worth listening to because it is true. I don't like that they've used the Greek gods, statue, but the words are very important. So here we go on the words here. I want you to listen up because it should inspire you. If you're in your 40s, 50s, definitely in your 60s, this is how you feel. But you can get insight early on before you get to 60. And I think this will help you. I think it will help you. Here we go.
60, life becomes brutally honest. Illusions fall away, and what remains are lessons written in experience. Here are 7 powerful life lessons only clear after 60. 1. Health is everything. Without it, nothing else matters. Guard it like treasure. 2. Time is the most expensive currency. Spend it wisely because no one knows how much is left. 3. Peace is better than winning arguments. Silence saves energy and keeps your dignity intact. 4. Not everyone was meant to stay. Let people go without bitterness. That's freedom. 5. Regret is heavier than discipline. Do what you can now so you don't carry the weight later. 6. Happiness is simple. A quiet morning, a healthy body, and people who love you are enough. 7. Legacy matters more than possessions. You can't take things with you, but your example will outlive you. And here comes the most important part. Life after 60 is no longer about chasing more. It's about choosing better and living the rest of your days with clarity, purpose, and peace.
And there you have it. I say for you guys that you don't have to wait till you're 60 to have those, but those achievements, those goals is for everyone. Life is about peace. Life is about not chasing, when you're a kid, when you're young, you chase after all kinds of stuff. But once you get to a certain age, mine happened when I was in my 50s. And now I'm really getting there on my 60s. I crave for peace. Like you hear the sirens in the background? That disturbs my peace. I crave for peace. Even with all the chaos that's going on in the world, and I am a political junkie. I am a geopolitical junkie. I want to know what's going on in all the countries. I want to know what's going on in America. But at the end of the day, as I get older, I realize that now, when Adrian will tell you, because he's proof of it all. In this house, I used to have a huge, big, giant TV screen, 4 small screens above it with all kinds of news going on from all over the world. I'm older now, and I think I would like to think a little bit wiser. Shut these things off. It is important to learn. It is important to gain knowledge. It is, as we talked about today, you want to be a global citizen. You want to know what's going on. But you also have to know when to pull away and say, peace. When I was growing up as a boy, that said, peace, be still. Peace, peace, tranquility. Being around people that strengthen you, nurture you, and you can reciprocate. That's what's important as you get older. And you don't have to learn it when you're older. You can learn that when you're younger. The sooner you learn it, the freer you'll be. When you're not caring about people's opinions. When you get older, you don't care about what anybody says. When you're older, you don't think about people. Do they love me? You don't care. You live so in your truth. You don't care. You don't care if they don't like the blouse or the shirt you're wearing. You put it on because you love it. And it's a shame that we learn this wisdom when we're older. because it could save you a lot of pain and heartaches when you're younger. Right? Elise says, my peace is important to me. The most important commodity in the world is peace. And if you can find peace, there's no dollar amount in gaining it. So on this Focus Friday, let's go away with the focus. You know how we say we focus on, in this community, on things that matter. We focus on things that matter in this community. Focus on peace. You will free your mind, your spirit, your soul, your being if you focus on peace. Whatever that means to you. If it means getting under a tree with a book and reading, it's peace. If it's watching some kind of movie or getting your popcorn and hanging out with your significant other, it's peace. If it's walking down the street and just walking in your neighborhood and walking through the park, walking through the botanical garden, walking, peace. And so on that note, I'm not even going to give you any advertisements or anything like that. I just want you to concentrate on one thing this weekend. Peace. And as the church says, and the peace of God be with you all, my friends. That passes all understanding. That peace. Lisa says, I don't think that is absolute for everyone getting older. Some of those older church ladies absolutely cannot care and talk about everyone. This is true. But they haven't learned the secret. The secret is peace. I ain't say because you were old in number that you were wise. No, there's a lot of dumb 80-year-olds. There's a lot of dumb 70-year-olds. There's a lot. I don't know about a lot of them because I don't know. If you get to be 100, you're most likely have been a professional peacemaker. Right? Just because your number says you are older does not mean wiser. There's still a lot of old fools running around these streets, right? You ever hear someone say, oh, you're such an old fool? Right? Just because you have a number doesn't mean you're old, you're wiser. There's a lot of fools running around. Lee says, yes, they do, Lisa. and Janet says, Lisa, you're on target about church folks. Kimmy says, good show. Enjoy your weekend all. Yes, Fifi says, perfectly said, Ron. So guys, sought after peace. And I'll see you guys on tonight for the game nighters. The game nighters. You want to play some games tonight? We got the New York Times games this evening at 11:30. We'll be here at Touch Base Daily Game Night. And for all those that I don't see tonight, I'll see you on Monday. Okay, guys, have a great weekend. Love you, and do something that brings you peace. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.